This makes no sense, and the more we look at this salary cap, the worse it gets. How do the Las Vegas Raiders still have nearly $24 million just sitting there, and the front office is just sitting on top of that cash while the free agent market cools down? According to reports, the front office preaches an intelligently aggressive approach, but so far the inertia is ticking off the fan base. Are we saving up for a blockbuster move mid-season? Or is it just a lack of guts to sign the guys who can actually elevate this team? So make sure to smash that like button and stay until the end, because what is going on behind the scenes could change the destiny of Las Vegas in 2026. The market has names that could be wearing our jersey right now. There is something wrong when the front office holds all the cards, but prefers excessive caution. We are talking about nearly $23.5 million available according to Over the Cap. And what does the upper management do? They just speculate, waiting for the perfect moment that might never come. According to reports, the front office adopts an intelligently aggressive line, but Raider Nation wants to know what that supposed aggressiveness means, because so far what we see is deafening silence on the open market. Is this brilliant management strategy or disguised fear of making a mistake that could cost us big time down the road? Because look, the market doesn't have that many superstar talents shining in the window anymore, but it does have depth pieces and raw talent that could bulletproof our roster. And the names out there deserve at least a deep investigation from the coaching staff. Take the case of Ifeatu Melifonwu, the 27-year-old defensive back who spent time with the Detroit Lions and played for the Dolphins in 2025. The guy closed out last year with over 50 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 interception. He is a hybrid safety and cornerback who brings pure versatility to the back end of the field. According to Mike Garafolo from NFL Network, the kid has already worked out with the Seahawks and Titans, but remains a free agent. Now I ask you, is it really worth letting a guy like that slip away to a direct rival, while our secondary desperately needs new blood to compete in the AFC West? If we decide to gamble on him, the front office can quietly integrate rookie Jermod McCoy in the 4th round and still force Darian Porter to step up his game in his 2nd NFL year. That is what you call internal pressure. That is high-level competition, so nobody gets too comfortable in the locker room. But hold on, because what comes next directly shakes up our offense and divides opinions on the internet. We need to talk about the offensive line situation and the need to create competition for DJ Glaze. And that is where Jonah Williams comes in, the 29-year-old tackle and former first-round pick back in 2019, who spent last season as the absolute starter for the Arizona Cardinals, playing in nearly 100% of the team's offensive snaps. Sure, there are speculations that he might not exactly be a Pro Bowl level player, and Glaze's own numbers in 2025 show the gravity of the whole. 10 sacks given up, nearly 50 total pressures, and 5 penalties committed, according to Pro Football Focus. The burning question is this: is the front office going to keep coddling guys who play bad, or are they going to bring in a tough veteran to kick down the door for the starting job? Signing Jonah Williams doesn't just mean adding depth. It means sending a clear message to DJ Glaze that the starting spot isn't guaranteed. If the starter drops off in production, you got a battle-tested guy right there ready to take over right tackle without blinking. But if you think the front office is going to stop there in their attempt to inject talent into the offense, it is because you don't know the boldness that Raider fans expect to see in Las Vegas. There are massive whispers behind the scenes about the possibility of landing an impact piece at the wide receiver position, and the name that captures the imagination of the fans is Deebo Samuel. Think with me, the guy is 30 years old, has a massive background in the league, and brings way more than just a veteran presence to the young Las Vegas wide receiver room. We are talking about an athlete who offers insane versatility, being able to be deployed as a creative running back, just like he did putting up dozens of rushing yards and touchdowns last season, on top of piling up over 1,000 yards on the ground and over 20 scores since his debut in 2019. And you want to know the best part? Unlike other controversial figures who drag circus acts and drama into the locker room, Deebo delivers pure intensity without all that off-field noise that destroys a young team's environment. Renowned analysts like Jordan Dajani from CBS Sports have already pointed to the Raiders as a logical destination for the receiver, highlighting that pairing an offensive weapon of this caliber with Kirk Cousins' experience makes total sense strategically for the scheme. With promising youngsters trying to find their footing, having a mentor who wins games with the ball in his hands changes the ceiling of any offense. The front office doesn't need to sign all 3 at once, but leaving that budget to rot in the account while the roster is lacking fine adjustments is an unnecessary risk. It is that old story. Whoever has limits is a small town, but whoever has championship ambitions goes all in before training camp knocks on our door. Now this question stays on your mind. Is this financial caution from the front office a genius long-term plan or a wasted golden opportunity that we are going to regret back in January? And that is a true test for the heart of any Raiders fan, because we need to have a serious talk about what happened this offseason with our main defensive pillar, the man who carries the soul of this franchise on his back. Some days feel like an emotional roller coaster, and the situation involving defensive end Maxx Crosby surpassed all limits of suspense. First came the scare of surgery to repair a torn meniscus, leaving everyone on edge about the physical recovery of the monster. As if the natural tension of the operating table wasn't enough, a bombshell dropped on the trade market. Reports indicated he had been traded to the Baltimore Ravens in a move that paralyzed the entire NFL, only for the deal to fall apart right after he supposedly failed the Ravens' rigorous physical exam. The fan base went nuts, the atmosphere got heavy, and the future of number 9 in Las Vegas turned into a gigantic question mark. But the front office put their foot down, decided to lock the doors, and closed ranks, choosing not to explore any more trade talks. According to reports, Crosby is going to keep wearing the silver and black, at least for now, and his reaction shows the size of the commitment he has to this jersey. The hardest part for a competitive animal like Max wasn't the ghost of a trade or the surgery itself. It was having to bite the bit and stay patient during the mandatory rest. Anyone who knows this guy's work ethic knows he lives to train, to push past limits, and to smash opposing blocks through sheer grit. But hold on, because the calm didn't last long and the answer came the way we like it. The agony of recovery is numbered. The rookies are already reporting to training camp, and to the general relief of Raider Nation, Maxx Crosby guaranteed he isn't going to miss a single second of this fresh start. In recent statements on his podcast, the man went straight to the point and warned that he will be there on day one, no excuses, ready to hit the practice field right from the very first moments of activity. His frankness is impressive, but it also lights up a yellow alert for the coaching staff, because we know how Crosby works. If you let him, he pushes his body to the absolute limit, running right over any medical protocol just to prove himself. And that is exactly where the intelligence of the staff comes in. There are rumors behind the scenes that the team is going to adopt a dosage strategy, building a gradual transition plan to ensure he doesn't come back wrecking everything before the right time. Crosby himself acknowledges that the start will demand caution, with a controlled snap count and a measured build-up to readapt to ideal game speed. But the guy's mentality is relentless. He made a point of reporting the feeling of cutting and changing direction on the grass again, feeling in his best physical shape, ready to do what he loves most without severe long-term restrictions. And if anyone had any doubts about where the head and heart of our defensive leader are, you just need to look at the impact he makes in the locker room. Even with all the turbulence of trade rumors at the beginning of the year, he continues to be the unquestioned face of this franchise, the general who sets the tempo of the defense. Even before stepping onto the grass for the first official training camp practice, he sent a short, sharp, and direct message on social media that set the fan base on fire. Time to work. That simple phrase sums up the spirit of someone who went through delicate surgery, saw his name wrapped up in failed trade talks, and now just wants to focus on one single thing: destroying opposing offenses. The truth is that the defensive roster put around him this season is significantly stronger than at any other moment since he was drafted by the Raiders. There are strong whispers that this could be the most dangerous defensive unit Las Vegas has seen in years, full of hungry complementary pieces. But all of that depends on one crucial factor: the full health of our number 9. If he can get back to that absurd level of play that made him an all-pro, the sky's the limit for this defense. Now I want to hear from you, fan. Seeing Maxx Crosby come back with all that hunger the fuel we needed to believe in the defense? Or is the front office taking too big of a risk by unleashing the monster on the field right at the start of his recovery? And that sets fire to any debate inside Raider Nation. Because we need to talk about the soap opera that almost ruined the arrival of the rookies to training camp. The vibe was tense inside the Las Vegas facilities, and the main reason was the delay in signing the contract of our top overall pick, quarterback Fernando Mendoza. Rumors behind the scenes were that the holdout was about bureaucratic details of the signing bonus, leaving everyone with that nagging doubt about the possibility of a silent boycott right during the first important days of the offseason. But anyone who knows the kid's mentality knows he didn't come here to waste time. Mendoza made it clear he wasn't going to sit out of practice over paperwork, and the front office, knowing that every minute of reps counts for the development of the franchise's future, raced against the clock to put out the fire. The official announcement came straight from the Raiders' social media and the athlete himself, confirming that pen finally hit paper and the 4-year, fully guaranteed contract worth $57,270,000, complete with a 5th-year option, was properly sealed. According to reports from Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, locking up that entire bag without hassle shows mutual commitment, slamming the door on any off-field distractions. With that, the Raiders managed to sign absolutely all of their rookies on time, including talented 4th-rounder Jermod McCoy, bulletproofing the locker room against any unnecessary noise before the veterans arrive. But hold on, because the real drama starts now between the white lines. With the paperwork settled, the big question is how the coaching staff is going to manage the playing time of our young signal caller. The arrival of Kirk Cousins to training camp puts the veteran as the absolute favorite to take over the starting job in Week 1. Which makes total sense given his background and experience. Only the front office isn't just going to stash the rookie on the bench to watch time pass. According to Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated, the plan is to give Mendoza real first-team reps all through training camp. That is, right what you heard. The kid's work ethic blew the coaching staff away from day one, showing an absurd ability to absorb the playbook and translate that knowledge into quick plays on the practice field. On top of that, there are reports that the relationship between Cousins and Mendoza behind the scenes is excellent, which acts as a true crash course for the rookie to absorb the secrets of playing elite NFL football. The burning question is this: is this just a gradual and safe development plan to protect the kid, or a real door being opened for a quarterback competition that could blow up the team's hierarchy? The coaching staff is going to need a lot of skill to manage expectations. On one hand, nobody wants to kill the fire of a talented rookie by putting too much pressure on him too soon. On the other hand, if Mendoza steps on the field and shows undeniable superiority in practice, it is going to be extremely difficult for the coach to justify keeping the more experienced arm on the bench just out of preference or pre-established hierarchy. If he is better, he has to play. But the answer to that needs to be definitive, leaving no room for doubt. Now I want to hear from you, Raider Nation. Giving first-team reps to Fernando Mendoza a genius future bet, or an unnecessary risk that could create unsustainable pressure on the shoulders of our rookie. And when you put all these pieces together, it becomes clear that the rabbit hole goes much deeper in Las Vegas. The front office has cash in the bank but hesitates. Our main pass rusher comes back with fire in his eyes but needing a leash, and the crown jewel arrives running over everything to challenge the established order. These are decisions that will define whether our season is going to be about making a statement or pure frustration. Now I want to hear from you. Is this cautious approach from the front office combined with the rookie pressure the recipe for success, or are we walking straight into chaos? So make sure to leave a like, share with Raider Nation, and comment right down here, because our voice is what runs this fan base. Until next time.